Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Introducing my name is Lestari, a student of Elementary School Teacher Education, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, University of Muhammadiyah Purwakarta. On this occasion, I'm very happy to be able to introduce myself and present the article that I have written about the analysis of civic skill in the implementation of the problem-based learning model. The article I'm presenting today is entitled Analysis of Civic Skill in the Implementation of Problem-Based Learning Model in Class 5B LEDUG Public Elementary School, which is explore my deeply about civic skills that are integrated in the process of implementing problem-based learning model in the classroom. Let's start from the introduction. The phenomenon of the lack of development of civic skill in the education process at school makes students less aware of the importance of civic skill. Civic skills are skills that must be possessed by citizens. Civic skills themselves are divided into two, namely participation skill and intellectual skill. The development of civic skill is very important in order to be able to educate students to become good citizens who are aware of their rights and obligations and have civic skills that are applied in their life for the future. Effort to develop citizenship skills in students cannot be separated from the role of the teacher and the system of learning activity at school or in the classroom. A series of learning activity in the classroom can use various learning models that can support the delivery of material and achievement of learning objectives. The problem-based learning model uses a problem that is relevant to daily life of students as the beginning of the learning process. The problem-based learning model is an innovative learning model that can facilitate students to develop their abilities and potential well. The lack of civic skill development in the school education environment is the cause of weak student participation in realizing the agent of change today. The use of problem-based learning as innovative learning model in the reason for research to analyze civic skill. The focus of the research being conducted is to examine civic skill in the process of implementing the problem-based learning model in the classroom, as well as various aspects that have an influence. Next is the literature review. Hijran et al. 2022 described that civic skill consists of intellectual skill, namely insightful, responsible, active, able to think creatively, and participation skill, namely participation in the implementation and planning process related to civic skill. Then, Jamalong et al. 2019, page 34, explain that civic skills are skills that arise based on civic knowledge with the aim that the knowledge gained has a meaning that is useful in facing various challenges of life in the context of nationality and stage. Then, exposure from Fatur Rahman, 2015, page 113, and Sofyan et al. 2017, page 49, about the problem-based learning model is interpreted as a way of learning that begins with the presentation of a problem and is followed by student participation in order to solve a problem through scientific, Step based on prior knowledge and experience so that students can learn to find solution to the problem found. Then, Huda 2013, page 271, explained that problem-based learning focused on student learning and not on teacher teaching. So, learning will be more meaningful. Problem-based learning makes learners participate in generating real-world problem solving, working collaboratively, and taking action to find solutions. Next is the methodology. In this study, research used a descriptive qualitative approach with phenomenological methods which provides understanding, meaning, and looks for the uniqueness of phenomena that occur in research subject described through explanation expressed in the form of words and language. The result of research with these methods are by describing the phenomena that occur completely and in more detail in the research process in the field. Data collection methods involved classroom observation, interview with students, teachers, and school principals, and document analysis. The research sample consisted of students and teachers involved in the implementation of problem-based learning in the classroom. Next, result and discussion. The result of the research of the analysis of civic skill in the application of problem-based learning in the classroom show that the application of problem-based learning models is able to provide opportunities for learners to be able to develop their civic skills. Learners can also develop their active participation as learners is fulfilling their rights and obligations as good citizens. The implementation of citizenship development in the school environment is necessary as part of the effort to educate students about citizenship. The following are elements related to intellectual skill and participation skill. Intellectual skill including identifying, describing, analyzing, evaluation, taking and defending position on public issues. Participation skill including interacting, monitoring, influencing. The result of observation in the classroom learning process show that the teacher has mastered the problem-based learning model and is able to integrate citizenship skill in the learning process. Students can also follow the learning process quite well. The process of developing civic skill has several supporting factors, including phases or steps in the problem-based learning model, which are very relevant to civic skill. The application of rules of agreement that must be followed while at school and during a series of learning activities in the classroom is also able to encourage students to develop their civic skill. Besides that, there are school programs that support the development of the application of civic skill. Students are introduced to a variety of civic skills within the school environment, the implementation of supportive school program, the process of habituation of students to the rule and regulation at school, and the presence of teacher as supervisor also supports students to be able to reflect attitude and contain civic skill at school. The inhibiting factor in the process of developing the application of civic skill in students include the influence of the global environment, either from friends or gadgets. Factors from outside the school environment also have an influence of on the development on student civic skill, where when outside the school environment, teacher cannot monitor and guide students like when they are at school. Communication limitations are also one of the obstacles. Besides that, there are obstacles in the learning process as well, including facilities and infrastructure that provide obstacles in the learning process using problem-based learning, so that development of the application of civic skill in student becomes less than optimal. Teacher readiness in preparing to learn using the problem-based learning model also has an influence on the development of civic skill in students. The last is conclusion. The research conducted show that the implementation of the problem-based learning model in primary school contributed positively to the development of student civic skill. Problem-based learning involves students in real-world problem-solving, collaboration, and active participation, which leads to an increase in their understanding of civic skill, political participation, community involvement, communication skill, and socialization skill with the surrounding environment. The use of the problem-based learning model can be used as one of the efforts to provide an increase in and develop civic skill in students. Teachers are capable enough to implement the problem-based learning model effectively. In addition, teachers are also able to integrate civic skill into a series of learning activities well. Students have also been able to actively participate in the learning process, although there are still some students who are still less active, but all of them have shown effort to be able to learn actively. Several factors such as inhibiting and supporting factor in the process of integrating civic skill in the implementation of problem-based learning model must be a concern for educators in order to maximize the learning process to improve civic skill in students. That's all the presentation that I can convey. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.